Well, good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming live here this morning. I got to take a few minutes and talk about it. The college football season for 2018 is literally a month and a half away, and there's some unanswered questions that I think need to be answered. What do we need to look for in the college football season for 2018? If you're an Ohio State fan, let me answer that for you. What we need to look out for is possible domination of the Big Ten. We got J.K. Dobbins. We have Nick Bosa back. We have Mike Weber back. Coach Urban Meyer says he's got his team ready for 2018. We have a new core of players coming in. Dwayne Haskins is getting to start for Ohio State since J.T. Barrett has hightailed it to the NFL. So there's a lot of variables there. But Coach Urban Meyer said, I'm very confident in our team. We got to be confident. And confidence is the thing to have in this season. And I'm telling you right now, watch out for Ohio State in the Big Ten, because they may win another Big Ten championship. Will they get back into the top four and have another shot at national championship glory? Only time will tell that. But my thing is, Ohio State is still the team to beat in the Big Ten. And it's always a hard act to follow, and I'm going to say it now. Watch out for Ohio State in 2018 in this year's football season. We have Nick Bosa back. We have Mike Weber back. We have J.K. Dobbins returning. And we also got the best coach in the Big Ten in Urban Meyer. He knows how to get the job done. And so do some of those Buckeye seniors. They can get it done too. And I'm telling you, Ohio State's going to be the team to beat in the Big Ten in 2018. Now, what if you're a fan of Alabama? There's a lot of new faces this year. Coach Nick Saban said, I'm very confident in our team. There's a lot of unanswered questions that I have. And there's a lot of concerns that I have. And you've got to be up to the new challenges. Well, the new challenge is they got a new quarterback starting. And some of their players from the past are gone from those national title teams. And I'm telling you, Alabama is going to have to prove themselves this time. Because I don't think they're going to be as fully loaded as they have been in the past. I really don't. They're still the team to beat in the SEC West. But as far as winning the SEC championship, that's a whole other thing. Yes, they got into the top four on a fluke, and they took the national championship. And everybody said they got it spit shine to them. That remains to be seen, and I'm still on the fence with that. But my thing is, Alabama's got some unanswered questions this time. Will they go undefeated? I don't think so. But I will say this. Bama could be a team to beat in the SEC West. Will they win the SEC championship? That remains to be seen. However, there's a lot of things that are on my mind. And Nick Saban's going to have to answer some questions, because he's got a lot of questions that need to be answered as the season goes on in 2018. The bottom line is, Bama is not going to, in my opinion, they're not going undefeated. If anything, they'll lose to Auburn in the final game of the season. And that's all there is to it. All right. Now that's Alabama out of the SEC West. Let's head east to the SEC East to Athens, Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs. Here's what you need to look for this season. Jake Fromm is back. He's back better than ever. Okay, but he had broke his non-throwing hand. There's a concern right there. Georgia coach Kirby Smart said he'll be ready. He'll be back in time, ready for the season, man. And I hope Jake Fromm's right. I hope Kirby Smart's right. Jake Fromm is a great quarterback. However, he does not have. He's going to have DeAndre Swift this time as a running back. He does not have Nick Chubb. He will not have Sony Michel helping him this time because they've gone pro. But DeAndre Swift, and I said this yesterday, DeAndre Swift is a player that can get up and down the field in about 4.5, 5 seconds. That's very impressive out of the Georgia running backs department. DeAndre Swift is quick, and Jake Fromm is a great quarterback. Georgia coach Kirby Smart said he's got his Bulldogs ready to rear and ready to go. And they're all looking forward to 93,000 barking Bulldog fans coming when they come out of the tunnel and get ready to play on a Saturday. In Athens, beautiful Athens, Georgia. And you can't forget about the most beautiful looking mascot there is in all of college sports, Uga. He is the most beautiful looking dog I've ever seen in my entire life. And all George fans would agree with me on that one. But in all seriousness, no. They have some unanswered questions. What about DeAndre Swift? Is he going to be a great running back, or is he going to be a disappointment this season? They do not have Sony Michel. They do not have Nick Chubb. So Georgia has got some concerns in the running backs department in the offense. However, you got to feel good and confident about Georgia winning the SEC East. Will it be Georgia? And I got a strange feeling it's either going to be Georgia versus Auburn or Georgia versus Alabama in the SEC championship game. Will that happen? Only time will tell that. But I'm telling you now, Georgia is the team to beat in the SEC East. And there, I don't think there's any competition there. Because think about it. You've got Jake Fromm. You've got DeAndre Swift. And you got Coach Kirby Smart. And that's all you need to know out of Georgia. So there's going to be some unanswered questions there. No doubt about it. All right, what about Michigan? We talked about Ohio State. What about that trashy team up north known as Michigan? Here's what they need to look for. Quarterback Shea Patterson got knocked out for the rest of the season early last year. He's going to get a good start. Hopefully he'll get a good start this time. But they got Kalahaki Hudson as a linebacker. Those two right there can do a lot of damage. And I've seen Shea Patterson throw. Unfortunately, we only saw him for 1 or 2 years last year before he got carted off and done for the season. But Kalahaki Hudson, he can be a very quick guy himself. And I'm telling you now, Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is coaching for his job. Because think about it. Michigan, they got Notre Dame to open the season. Then they got to play Michigan State. Then they got Ohio State. He loses 2 or 3 of those games. Harbaugh is out, in my opinion. And everybody in Ohio State Nation knows it. And everybody in Ann Arbor, they say, oh, he's not going to be out. He's not going to be out. I'm telling you. Everybody in Ann Arbor and all the Michigan fans can say whatever they want. But if Harbaugh loses 2 of those 3 games, the 3 games I mentioned, Notre Dame, Michigan State, or Ohio State, he's out the door. He'll be gone before you know it. But what will we expect out of the University of Michigan? I expect a pretty good season out of them. Maybe if they can beat Notre Dame, Michigan State, or even Ohio State, they'll be legit. And maybe they'll be back on the map. But Jim Harbaugh, I think he knows this time he's coaching for his job. And that's all there is to it. And I'm telling you now, watch out for Michigan in this year's 2018 college football season. Can they beat Ohio State? Only time will tell that. We don't know. But watch out. I guess it's going to be very interesting what happens. Now, if you're a Penn State fan, I got to talk about it. Trace McSorley will be back. He's going to be coming back for another season, and I'm telling you, this is a guy that is the most underappreciated player in the country. Look at this guy. Look what McSorley's done. He's put Penn State football back on the map. And think about it. He took Penn State to the Big Ten championship. Him and James Franklin, they took Penn State to the Rose Bowl, only to lose to USC in a heartbreaker. They went to the Fiesta Bowl and they beat Washington last year. And here's the thing. Coach James Franklin said himself, we're starting over from scratch on defense. And that's the truth. Penn State lost 9 defensive starters last year. There's a big, big question mark on defense. They lost their defensive tackles. They lost a few of their linebackers. And I'm telling you, they are literally, and I mean literally, starting from scratch on the defensive side of the ball. Coach James Franklin, he's a little bit worried this time, and quite honestly, I don't blame him. But anyway, I will say this. Penn State's got some battles this year. They got Ohio State and Happy Valley on the 29th of September. And I'm telling you, and then they got Michigan State on the 13th of October. And I'm telling you, if Penn State can beat Ohio State or Michigan State, they're playing for the Big Ten championship. And I'm telling you, the Penn State Nittany Lions have really improved. After the last couple of years of those great teams, when they had Trace McSorley, Saquon Barkley, and of course they had and I'm telling you, Barkley went pro. Penn State is starting over. At least they got Myles Gaskin, and they got Trace McSorley back. That's a big help. But the big question mark is the defense for Penn State. Because they lost all their starters from last year. They lost 9 defensive starters. So they're starting over from scratch. Is there concerns? Yes, there is. But Penn State can jump out at you. And all credit goes to Trace McSorley. All credit goes to James Franklin and the rest of the Penn State football team, because they put Penn State football back on the map. Will they stay there? Hopefully they will. But the bottom line is, the Nittany Lions better be ready, because they got Ohio State gunning for them on the 29th of September in Happy Valley. Keep that in mind. Now, if you're a Notre Dame fan, here's what you need to look for. Coach Brian Kelly, in my opinion, there's another guy that's coaching for his job. If you think it's just Jim Harbaugh, I got news for you. Brian Kelly's job might be on the line. Because think about this. Brian Kelly, Notre Dame, they got to play Michigan. First game of the season in South Bend. Then they got to face Stanford. And you know Bryce Harper, he's going to be exciting to watch. And I'll get to him in a minute. And of course, they got USC at the Coliseum. Now they play USC at the Coliseum in the final game of the season. Now Brian Kelly said Notre Dame quarterback Brandon Wimbush is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I'm on the fence with that. Last year against Georgia in the home opener, in the opening game of the season, they lost 20-19. I haven't forgotten that performance. Now, yes, they did win the Citrus Bowl. Yes, they did win their bowl game at the close of the season last year. I'll give them that. However, this year is a whole new year. Wimbush needs to stay healthy. And Brian Kelly knows this time his job might be on the line. So if you think it's just Jim Harbaugh coaching for his job, that ain't it at all. Brian Kelly's job might be on the line too. Because if he loses to Michigan, he loses to Stanford, or he loses to USC, he's out the door. And that's all there is to it. So Notre Dame is going to be interesting. Their season is going to be very interesting and very worth watching. I'm telling you, if you think Brian Kelly's job is safe, it's not. Not by a long shot. All right, let's talk about this. USC, out of the Southern California Trojans, what do you need to look for this year? USC head coach Clay Helton said, this team's a whole new team. We lost Sam Darnold from last year, a former Heisman Trophy, a former Rose Bowl winning quarterback. But I'm telling you, the Trojans will be ready. Don't let that loss in the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State don't let that get to you. But I'm telling you, USC's going to be ready. And Clay Helton's already said we're going to win the Pac-12 championship. That remains to be seen. Coach Helton, have you forgot about Bryce Love and Stanford? And that's where Bryce Love comes in. And if you're a Stanford fan, Bryce Love, he's going to be the guy to watch for the Stanford Cardinal this season. Last year, he had over 2,100 yards with rushing last year. He was impressive. 8.1 yards per carry. That was a very impressive numbers last year. What will happen this year? Will Bryce Love come through? Will he be the breakthrough player and possibly even be in contention for the Heisman Trophy? Or will it be Clay Helton leading the USC Trojans to another Pac-12 championship? Only time will tell that. But I'm telling you, the Pac-12 is back. And Stanford and USC, they're going to be the two teams fighting it out for a Pac-12 championship. And I'm telling you, you better think long and hard. Because whoever gets in first, whether it's Bryce Love of Stanford or Coach Clay Helton of USC, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this season. Don't get me wrong. But Bryce Love, he's going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate this year. If he plays very well. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. Coach Lincoln Riley says he's got his new team ready, despite the fact that he doesn't have his team from last year. He's starting a new quarterback he's got a quarterback named Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray just signed a $4.6 million contract to go play for the Oakland A's. But before he plays baseball, he's got to play one season of college football for the Oklahoma Sooners. Will he be ready to go? I think yes. And Coach Lincoln Riley said, with the team that we had from last year, and I'm going to be honest with you, is there concern? Yes, there is. They don't have any much of their starters. They're starting all over from the quarterback department. Because you got to remember something. Cleveland took the very first pick in the draft, and I was shocked. I don't even want to mention his name because he makes me sick even thinking about it. But I'll have to mention his name, but I'm not going to mention it right now because I don't want to irritate anybody. So, will Oklahoma win the Pac-12? It's going to be very interesting to see because you got to think about Texas. You got to think about Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy said he's ready. He's got his guys ready to possibly knock Oklahoma off and win the Pac-12. But only time will tell that. But I'm telling you, it's going to be very interesting in the out of the Big 12. All right, folks. I am going to go ahead and get on out of here. And that pretty much sums up the story of what to look for in this college football season. A very quick snippet. Now, remember, the season is about a little over a month and a little over a month and a half away. But this is just a little sample of what to look for this season out of some of the teams I've just mentioned. But I'm telling you, this season in college football is going to be well worth watching. Who will win the national championship? We don't know. Who will win their conference championships? Can't answer that for you either. But I will say this. The 2018 college football season is going to be well worth watching. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. This is what happens this season. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it all plays out. But I'm telling you, this season is going to be well worth watching. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys for taking the time with me here this morning. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. Just type my name down, look for this pretty face, and if you subscribe to my channel, you'll see all the sports videos that I have done so far. I want to thank you guys for taking the time with me this morning. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. And you guys have a great day. And also a reminder, I have a Facebook show. I have a Facebook breakfast show Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Please tune into that. And also, too, I also have a late night show, probably about midnight, to get you ready for Sunday. And I also have a weekend wrap-up Tuesday night at 6:30. And please tune into that. Because I am also on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also pretty much on Messenger. You guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, and thank you for taking the time with me here this morning. Goodbye, everybody.